From being incredibly addicted to realizing that this game isn't for me in just 2 weeks. But why does Arcadia not have a home for me? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Master of None here. Today, I want to talk to you about my experiences with Lost Ark's endgame. I've only posted that incredibly positive first impressions video, and now that the honeymoon phase has gone by, I wanted to update you guys on where I stand with the game. Now, before you come with the pitchforks at me, I just wanted to let you know that I haven't played a game this much at launch since Lost Ark came out back in 2014. It's been a while since I had so much fun discovering a new world, and even if this video might focus a bit more on the aspects of the game that I don't like, I just want to make it clear that I've absolutely gotten my money's worth, and all in all, had a really enjoyable experience. To start from the beginning, I had bought the $50 Founders Pack since I enjoyed the game in beta quite a bit. This allowed me to jump into the game 3 days ahead of launch, play to my heart's content, make a first impressions video, and then go away over the weekend. Coming back, I was met with huge server issues, which honestly took quite a while to get fixed. The game was pretty much unplayable after 2 PM, and you couldn't queue for anything anymore. This was obviously really annoying, but at the time, I was in the lucky position to be able to adjust my gaming accordingly. So I would do anything that required a group in the morning, and in the afternoon, I would just sail around the world, do quests, and explore Arcadia. Weirdly enough, I think these server issues were the reason why it actually took me longer before I started losing interest in the game. I played an ungodly amount in the beginning, and the honeymoon phase was absolutely wonderful. If you are a fan of collectibles, this game has a huge amount of them. I felt like I had constantly something to do, and I spent little time on the quote-unquote endgame activities. When I did do the Guardian Raids or Chaos Rifts, I had a blast. While leveling, I always wondered how this game would feel in a more Diablo-style gameplay environment, since you don't really get to fight all that much during that time. That's exactly what Chaos Rifts felt like for the first time. Mowing down hundreds and hundreds of enemies, I felt incredibly powerful, and it was actually my favorite content for a while. Same goes for Guardian Raids. These are single boss fights that you can tackle in a group of 4. Fighting them the first maybe 5 times was super engaging. Learning the attack patterns, anticipating certain moves so you can dodge out of the way in time, or even better, counter the boss and allow your team to get some damage in, felt amazing. Tier 1 also had quite a smooth progression curve. I never had to kill the same boss too many times before I had enough gear to move on, which kept the experience fresh and exciting. If you've played the game, you might guess where this is going. I hit tier 2 and my feelings for the game started to change. The first half of tier 2 I actually completely skipped on accident. Apparently I had done so many islands that I could just skip past the 4 Guardian Raids, and after that I hit the first wall. At this point I had experienced quite a bit of the horizontal progression the game has to offer, and now I wanted to focus on the growth of my character, except I couldn't. See, Lost Ark is extremely heavily gated on dailies. Now, as someone who loves MMOs, I'm no stranger to dailies, weeklies or monthlies. To a certain degree, they are a necessary evil. However, I think my main gripe with Lost Ark is the way the daily system is designed. First of all, there is little to no variation in which type of dailies you do. You kill the same Guardian Raid boss twice a day, over and over. Then you go into your Chaos Rifts and do the same thing again. It doesn't help that once you know the boss, Guardian Raids can really feel like a slog. It just feels like they have too much HP for something you are supposed to kill every single day at least twice. It gets better once you hit tier 3, since they seem to die a lot quicker, but that doesn't help the majority of the player base. Remember how I mentioned earlier that Chaos Rifts were my favorite piece of endgame content in the beginning? Well, it really didn't take long to get stale. Especially with multiple characters. There are just not enough variations in the rift themselves, and I think the game could do a much better job with it. Dailies have this ability to make you despise content that you loved not so long ago. just like how Torghast turned into Choreghast in World of Warcraft Shadowlands. But how else could they design it then, you might ask? For me personally, a good daily system is one that rotates content to keep things fresh for longer. For example, if every day a different Guardian raid would be the one with extra rewards. Disclaimer, there is actually an event going on right now that does basically that, but I want to stick to the core systems in this video. It's also very possible that once we catch up to the other regions, we'll have a lot more variety in the daily tasks, but I haven't looked into that myself. Moving away from Guardian raids and Chaos Rifts, the list of dailies continues. Everything else is on a strict timer, and so much time is spent waiting. Waiting for the correct island location to pop up, waiting until your ship sails through the ocean, waiting for the island to spawn at said location, then entering the island, and then waiting again for the boss to actually spawn. It's really unengaging gameplay. To be fair, not everything has to be mega engaging. I can enjoy the occasional low intensity activity, especially after a long day of work where you can just relax and still feel like you're progressing your account somewhat. However, the timer of these events are so far apart that you will miss out on most of those activities as well, so that doesn't help. I realized that I heavily prefer weekly time gates. They create less FOMO, allow you for more flexibility in your gaming time, and they often feel more rewarding as well because you do them less often and thus the game usually gives you more rewards for it. This is really the main reason why I don't think Lost Ark is for me. I enjoy playing in long bursts, say for example the whole Sunday. But if I'm currently only interested in my gunslinger alt, I will run out of stuff to do way earlier and I almost feel forced to switch to a different character. The game just doesn't mesh as well with how I like to play games. Now with that being said, I still love the game, mainly because the gameplay feels absolutely amazing and nothing can change that. I also love how annoying side quests are account bound and I can just level up a new character without having to do loads of stuff that I don't want to do twice. I guess I just expected Lost Ark to be a staple of my games rotation, which usually goes something like this. Play a couple months of GW2, switch to WoW for a month or two, go back to Guild Wars, jump onto a looter shooter, ARPG or a story-driven single-player game, maybe take a break from gaming altogether and get obsessed with board games, to then finally go back to my home interior, ad infinitum. Sometimes I'll throw in a stop in Tamriel as well and play a little bit of Elder Scrolls Online, but until now, it never managed to grab me the same way as other MMOs have. Lost Ark doesn't really fit into that very well because of how the game is structured. Instead, I feel like to enjoy the game, I almost have to play it simultaneously to the other games and just limit my sessions to once or twice a week. That way, the monotony doesn't bother me as much and I can focus more on enjoying the gameplay. The shift in enjoyment was extremely noticeable when I finally unlocked Tier 3. Everything was all of a sudden really exciting again. I got a brand new questline to go through, new islands to discover, new guardians and dungeons to figure out, and loot finally became more interesting and relevant again. Just a lot of fun stuff. Now, I haven't touched any of the pay-to-win aspects in this video on purpose because honestly, while it always leaves a bit of a bad taste in my mouth that it is possible to spend tens of thousands of dollars and the game design clearly targets gambling addicts, it doesn't affect my enjoyment of the game directly. The only thing that bothers me is that Lost Ark can often feel like it's creating problems and annoyances to just sell you the solution for real money. However, I personally don't get compelled to spend money in those cases, it just drives me away from the game, which never feels good. So anyway, I realized that to be able to enjoy Lost Ark, I have to play it not like I would play an MMO, all day every day, and play it much more casually. Otherwise, the monotonous daily grind, with only a small percentage chance of actually getting rewarded for it, gets to me. Percentage chance gear upgrading feels horrible. With that being said, I still think that this game is here to stay, and I'll jump back in every now and again myself, especially when they finally release that Lance Master. If you haven't experienced Lost Ark yet, I'd still suggest giving it a shot. I think it's worth experiencing and deciding for yourself if it is a game for you. And if you've played Lost Ark, I'm really interested in your experiences. Are you still playing as much as you did in the beginning? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next one.